In pre-calculus, we begin to use a shorthand way of describing intervals. Intervals meaning a range of values that we're interested in. So let's look at this number line here. So I'm talking about how can we represent this piece here between 5 and, you would say that this is infinity out here. The values are going to continue to get larger and larger. So we're talking about 5 being included because this circle is colored in, and all the values to the right of it between 5 and infinity. So we understand this number line here because that's what we've worked with since way back in Algebra 1. And we also know that we can say one way of describing this interval is x is greater than or equal to because it's colored in, 5. Or we could say in set builder notation, x such that x is greater than or equal to 5. So what we can do now with interval notation is we can simply say closed bracket, square bracket, 5, comma, infinity, where infinity is always going to have a round bracket because it's an abstract idea, it's not a particular number. But what this square bracket here represents is the colored in dot. Okay? So if the dot were not colored in right here, if it was an open dot like that, then you would say round bracket 5, comma, infinity. Okay, so these are the new ways here of describing what's on the number line there. Closed bracket means filled in dot. Rounded bracket means not filled in dot. Okay, and the last point I want to make here is that another way that you'll see these number lines written is that, let's just use that 5 again. Sometimes you'll actually see the bracket written right on the number line. This would mean the 5 is included in every point to the right. It's identical to what we're saying here, except sometimes you'll see it in certain books and with certain teachers that they want to use this bracket here to represent what we know is this closed-in dot. And then, of course, if you have the smooth bracket case, and this is 5, you've got a smooth bracket and to the right. So these are all ways of saying the same thing. Okay, so what if it's going the other way? So we could have a number line situation like this. So that can be described as x is less than -2, and we don't have the little line here because it's not colored in. Or in set builder notation, we could say x such that x is less than -2, or in interval notation. Okay, so smooth bracket, here on the left side, this is negative infinity, and then -2, where we've got two smooth brackets because nothing's filled in, and infinity and negative infinity would always have a smooth bracket. Okay, and in this situation, we've got 2 pieces on our number line. So the way we want to represent that, of course, we want to think about this here and this here, negative infinity and positive infinity. Okay, so what we've done before is we've represented as the left piece x less than or equal to -3, and then we say or x is greater than or equal to 8, okay? Or we can make that set builder x such that x is less than or equal to -3, or x is greater than or equal to 8. Or in interval notation, we're just going to have 2 pieces. We're going to have negative infinity, smooth bracket, smooth, -3, square bracket, because the dot's colored in, And then instead of writing the word or, we put a U, which is a set symbol that means or. And then we've got right here, we've got another square bracket. So this would be 8, comma, positive infinity, whereas this side over here, this arrowhead side, is represented by positive infinity, which would always get a smooth bracket. All right, so that's something else we could see. And then let's look at this possibility. So this one has the line in between the two numbers. So we're in between the two numbers. So what we've done in Algebra 2, mostly we use this notation. We say -2 is less than or equal to, colored in, so we've got our little line there, to x, which is less than, so we have no little line because it's an empty circle, which is less than 7. So that means x is between -2 and 7, where the -2 is included and the 7 is not included. All right, or we can convert that into set builder notation with the curly brackets, x such that -2 is less than or equal to x, which is less than 7. All right, and so we interpret that as meaning x lies between -2 and 7, including -2, but not including 7. Okay, so in interval notation, we're going to say square bracket because it's a colored in dot, -2, comma, and then round bracket for the 7. Okay, so that's much shorter than writing it the other way. It means that all values between -2 and 7, where -2 is included because you've got the square bracket and 7 is not included because you have the round bracket.